Second practice at the Shanghai International Circuit, and conditions had changed considerably. With temperatures dropping and the wind picking up, stability issues and tyre temperature proved cause for concern for many drivers. It was world champions Mercedes who gave the most visible early signs of the tricky conditions. Lewis Hamilton, getting on the throttle at turn 3, lost the back of his silver arrow, spinning and sliding backwards off the track. Valtteri Bottas suffered a similar fate, leaving the pit lane on the medium compound as the rear snapped around through the long right-hander. With no lasting damage done to either car, both were able to continue on their way, although neither looked to be immediately comfortable. It was Bottas, however, who was the first to get his groove back, setting the fastest lap of the session with a time of 1 minute 33.330 seconds. Still top of the Drivers' Championship thanks to that fastest lap extra point in Australia, the Finn appeared to gain a much better handle on the W10, and in particular its tyres, than his world champion teammate. Sebastian Vettel, having briefly led the timings early on, was just a hair's breadth behind Bottas in P2. The four-time world champion couldn't better his early mark, finding himself in traffic late on following Racing Point's Sergio Perez.
I don't know what the Force India is doing.
Yeah, we are reporting it.
Well, he don't need to report, he can do what he wants, but it's just that they race harder on Friday than they do on Sunday.
Vettel's teammate Charles Leclerc found it impossible to get close in the afternoon after his session was cut short by a cooling system issue. The Monegasque driver sat out the final half an hour of the session, leaving Vettel to round off the team's practice programme. Haas were hoping to bounce back after recent disappointments, and with the midfield packed so tightly, tiny margins can make all the difference. However, both drivers had problems in the session. Pushing hard, Kevin Magnussen scraped the curbs at turn 10, scattering a few bits of his floor across the circuit. The Dane also narrowly avoided colliding with the Williams of Robert Kubica.
What the f?
Yeah, I saw it. Not good.
Romain Grosjean, meanwhile, suffered a broken front wing, the second time that's happened to him this season. Replay showed the car bouncing on a slightly bumpy section of track, but with no actual contact with the track surface, it appears the wing simply gave way. So Bottas fastest, just 0.02 of a second quicker than Vettel, with Red Bull's Max Verstappen P3, 0.2 off the pace, but very much in the mix. 5 different teams made up the top 6 places, with Renault's Nico Hülkenberg P5 and McLaren's Carlos Sainz taking 6th spot. Pierre Gasly was more than a second back from teammate Verstappen. Danny Kvyat needed a power unit change and missed the early part of the session, but once out on track he closely matched Toro Rosso teammate Alex Albon's times. Less than 1/100th of a second separated Racing Point's Lance Stroll and his teammate Sergio Perez. Having sat out the majority of the morning session, Alfa Romeo's Antonio Giovinazzi was the first driver out on track for FP2, keen to make up for lost time. However, the Italian could only manage P18. Williams once again make up the bottom 2 places.